with Jordy. My real name is George, but I go by Jordy. I am the lead developer and administrator for Sprint. I think you're all probably pretty familiar with the Sprint brand. We started with Salesforce.com about 6 years ago with Nextel at the time, and same with me. I was with Nextel. And it's interesting for me throughout the conference. I've been thinking about sort of the evolution of Salesforce.com. As a developer 6 years ago, I have to be perfectly honest, I did not like Salesforce.com at all, only because it didn't present a challenge to me. It was point and click back then. We didn't have workflow rules, we didn't have validation rules, and we certainly didn't have any code. You fast forward to today, now they're talking about Ruby on Rails, they're talking about PHP, and all this exciting stuff. So we started about 6 years ago with Nextel, and we deployed to about 2,500 direct sales users. And a couple of years later, we merged with Sprint and deployed to another 2,500 users. And today, we have about 5,600 UE users and about 6,000 PRM users. Our main focus with Salesforce.com has been the CRM SFA piece to direct sales. Today, we're talking about franchise management. But over the years, because of the Force.com platform, we have really expanded what we do. But like I said, our main focus is direct sales. But because we have gotten this reputation within Sprint for having the ability to develop a system in a matter of weeks versus going to IT, which could take a year or more at times. So what I'm going to talk about today is a specific application as it relates to franchise management. And the indirect group came to us and said, we have a deal with a third-party vendor where our indirect field reps would go to the indirect dealers, to the big box stores, Best Buy, Radio Shack, to multi-carrier dealers, dealers that carry AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and everybody else. And they would go into those stores, and we are focused on brand compliance and maintenance and ongoing maintenance for these stores. So they would basically go in and pull up a questionnaire, run through 30 or 40 questions as it pertains to that brand compliance in the store, make sure that they have the proper signage, make sure that the employees' pants are properly pressed, their shirts are properly pressed, that they have the right demo phones, all of those things. So they had this application. It was a pretty simple application, but they were paying $300,000 a year, and they had heard of our reputation for sort of folding applications into Salesforce.com and developing them rather quickly. So they came to us with an extremely aggressive timeline of about 3 months. Could we basically replicate the existing system and get the training and everything in about 3 months' time? It was extremely aggressive, particularly since we hadn't actually done any development for the mobile Salesforce.com app. So we're actually pretty excited in doing that. And we also actually saw when we were looking at the application, there's a lot of room for enhancement and upgrades to the functionality for the current system. So we set out to develop this new application or replicate the application so that we could retire the old one. As a developer, I think my first instinct is always to go to the code. How can I develop a solution using Apex? How can I develop a solution using Visualforce? And this was about 3 years ago, so at that time, Visualforce for BlackBerry had just come out.